So Itai Weissman is Vice President Product at BioT Medical. Itai's talk today is on transforming medical wearable devices into connected solutions. It looks like a slightly different topic here, but nevertheless, I'm sure that Itai will highlight the application for wearables as well. So Itai, as a reminder, you have a total of 20 minutes. Please keep the speaking portion to about 15 minutes. This way we have some time for Q&A. So again, 15 minutes speaking portion, and then 5 minutes for Q&A. We're running a few minutes behind, so please try to stick on to the allotted time. Itai, everything looks great. Welcome again, and please go ahead.
Hey, hi everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Just a few words on BioT. In BioT, we provide a connected care platform that allows you to connect your medical wearable to the cloud and create a complete connected care solution around it. And why did we do that? Let's go into some of the challenges that we've identified in the market were for device manufacturers in order to provide a full service around their medical device competencies. So today, medical devices, and particularly wearables, are much more than just a tool for a medical measurement. They need to go into a complete ecosystem, and in order to do that, you need to connect them to a cloud. And you need several competencies. One is you need to engage customers, and that's a big challenge because the know-how on creating direct-to-consumer expertise, like experience management, adherence management, or engagement, is something that many companies do not have. In addition, there's a very complex ecosystem that needs to be part of this solution. The medical wearable needs to be a part of. And it needs to go into the workflows of the people that are using this ecosystem. And that's extremely complex to do. In addition to all of this functionality, the systems also are impacted by regulation and compliance requirements like HIPAA, GDPR, many cybersecurity standards, and these standards and regulations continuously evolve. So you continuously need to catch up with them. And at the end, most manufacturers are very competent in creating medical wearables, but they don't always have the cloud know-how in order to provide a system. So basically, from having a medical device to having a connected care solution that cater for the ecosystem, the complete ecosystem that it works in, you have quite a lot of stages that you need to go through. And that's a very costly journey. And it's not only costly, but it's also time consuming. So you need to create the cybersecurity mechanisms. You have to integrate with pair system and monetize on the data collection. You need to integrate with remote patient monitoring, so doctors can work with the system, and you need to keep the patients engaged, so you will promote the reported outcome and create a better solution outcomes. And that requires patient engagement. All of this takes quite a lot of time. With a connected care platform, this time is saved and the journey is made much easier. You basically connect your device to a platform that does all of these things for you, allows you to configure whatever you need and create your own workflows, and create your own connected care solution. So we're talking about reduction of up to 50 times in the cost, and transferring a journey that takes years to a few weeks. And in order to do that, a system like this needs to allow you to focus on your core, so and not create code around the system. And it means that it needs to be a no-code system, and rather than a platform that allows you to program. Some free domains that you need to consider that contribute to the to a wearable success is first, you need to be able to connect it easily to the cloud and transfer data to the cloud. The second is that you need to collaborate with the entire ecosystem. This means that you have to have the patient, the caregiver, the medical device companies, the payers. They all need to be able to collaborate, share information, and create a treatment. So the system needs to allow you to do that. And the third is to create the personalized care. You need to be able to go directly to patient, engage with them correctly, and create a personalized experience for them that helps them through the treatment journey. So, as we've seen, this type of creating such a connected care solution is quite complex, and having to do it by yourself means that you need to invest tens or hundreds of man years in order to reach it. And the reason it is complex is because you have to cater for many different users with significantly different needs. I mean, you as a manufacturer have your own needs. The caregivers, they have their own needs and their own workflows. The patient have their own considerations, and you have to cater for all of this when you're providing them with a wearable that fits into the environment. As I mentioned before, so you have to make sure that always privacy and security is upheld, and the ecosystem that you need to connect to is also very complex. You have every hospital has its own system, every clinic has its own system. Remote patient monitoring providers, they have their own systems, and not to mention payers and reimbursements mechanisms that require you, every one of them require you different way of evidence. So this is a very complex journey that can be made easier. And when you are trying to engage these different personas, you need to keep in mind that there are a lot of things that every one of them needs. So when you are talking about a patient at home, you need to be able to personalize the treatment around the medical wearable. So it means that you need to be able to engage correctly. You need to be able to manage the adherence. If he has a wearable like a wristwatch, you need to make sure that he's actually wearing it and that he's actually charging it. You need to educate him because there might be side effects to the wearables, and if he's experiencing them, he might stop treatment. And you need to allow him self-care and self-management, so he can manage his treatment by his own and not always engage the caregiver to do that. As a manufacturer, you have your own needs that you are probably familiar more than I am with them, but you need to be able to gather data for data analysis. You need to do inventory management of the devices. You need to do reimbursements and billing, and you need to consider all of this. And as a care provider have their own workflows around the system, where they need to be able to look at a global view of the patient, and you need to be able to provide that as well. And while you're taking care of all of this functionality, you also need to keep in mind that we're with a medical grade, devices and solutions. You need to have medical grade security and cybersecurity. is not an afterthought. A system needs to be designed for cybersecurity, and it takes a lot of years of experience in order to do that. It needs to be able to protect you from malicious actors, but also take care of privacy, like monitoring enforcing the PHI regulations and making sure that PHI information does not leak. You need to continuously update and adhere to new practices and to new threats that are coming, and you need to continuously evolve with the standards. This by itself creates quite a lot of effort that can be taken off your head. So if you are considering a platform, you need to think about the fact that, okay, it's not just that I need to migrate to the cloud, but it needs to save you time. And while saving you time, it needs to allow you for a continuous evolution of your offering. So it means that you need to have the ability to continuously change workflows and continuously update capabilities without code. Think about Wix as an example. You don't need Wix to program something for you in order to create a website. You need to be able to cater for all of the personas needs, the patients, the caregivers, and the ecosystem. And you need to be able to continuously add capabilities to the system around, for example, additional adherence tools or additional monitoring tools. And this all needs to be available for you all the time and at your convenience. Another thing you need to consider about migrating to the cloud is that it allows you for quite a lot of flexibility. When you migrate your devices to the cloud, on top of the fact that you have all of the connected care solution, you can actually migrate code to the cloud. You can migrate capabilities. And this means that you can keep the device costs down. You can save battery life because the device is not doing a lot of processing. It is done outside the device. You can continuously add capabilities to the device, and you don't need to upgrade the hardware of the device in order to do that. You can build, you don't need to upgrade every device or to update firmware in every device all of the time. You simply need to do it once in the cloud. And all of this allows you to create new commercial models. For example, subscription payment, monthly payment around your device, monthly reimbursement models, and things like that. And this means that you need to be able to take some of the code that you have in your device today, put it on the cloud, and do it in a way that is transparent. You don't need to create cloud expertise, microservice expertise in order to do it. You just need to take your code, put it there, and don't worry about cloud or cybersecurity. Another thing you need to consider around services around medical wearables is how to correctly engage with patients and how to manage the experience, because this is a key contributor to reported outcome. And this means you need to engage correctly, you need to manage adherence, you need to educate them around how to use the device and around how to manage their condition. You need to allow the patients to be involved, to provide you with feedbacks, and you need to allow him to manage himself. If we are talking about one of the key contributors for treatment success is adherence, particularly if the device is not always connected to the patient. And this means that you need to be able to manage it, and you need to be able to get the patient to adhere to the treatment protocol. It means you need to track it, the treatment protocol, but you also need to track whether the patient is using the device correctly. And then if it doesn't, you need to manage the adherence by involving him in the treatment, providing him with visualization of what are the outcome of not adhering or of adhering to the treatment, and reminding him and engaging with him and trying to get him to adhere. And a big part of it is also education and assistance. You have to constantly educate the patient on the why he needs to adhere and how he needs to adhere, and you need to be able to do it on the fly without human intervention. So you have to be able to create scenarios to walk him through the patient, to learn how he behaves, and then to instruct him on how to do it properly. And you need to do it without human engagement, because you cannot do it for every patient separate. Another thing to consider is that you want the patient to provide you with feedbacks, like questioning the patient on how the device is working for him is a key part of a clinical trial and of the post-market clinical follow-up. And you need to do it in a way that the patient is likely to answer. And this means that you need to be able to, on the fly, to decide, okay, right now, based on the patient behavior, I want to send him a specific question and a specific, in a specific way, and I will not send it in another time where he's less likely to engage. So you need to do it proactively, and you need to do it dynamically. And you need to be able to provide also the patient with the ability to engage with you, open a chat and start talking to you, whether it's with a human or with an automated system, so he feels like he is part of the treatment. And of course, on the other side, there's the caregiver, where you need to be able to fit into their workflow and to allow them to use whatever they are using today and not break the workflow that they are currently using. And it means if they are using an RPM or an EHR, you have to be able to integrate your device insights into this system. You have to customize the information and the way you present it to their specific use cases, and every one of the caregivers may have a different use case, so you need to be able to do it for everyone. And you need to be able to alert them and engage with them in case something is wrong. You cannot have them constantly looking at the system in order to do that. And this is a key factor in being able to actually deliver the medical wearable, is how you integrate with the environment and how you create the conditions that allow caregivers to take advantage of the medical wearable. So to summarize all of this, when looking at medical wearables, we can maximize the ability and the potential of these wearables by creating a connected care solution around them that takes care of patient, that improves the patient outcome. It takes care of many use cases for that helps you in clinical trials and post-market clinical follow-up, and it is able to support revenue generation by supporting reimbursements and supporting different revenue generation models like medical devices as a service. So thank you very much, guys. That is all from.
All right. Yeah, Itai, thank you very much for a nice talk. Appreciate it. And we can, you pretty much stayed on time. We have probably 2 or 3 minutes for questions. So can take a few questions for Itai. Maybe I'll start. So Itai, I think you mentioned this a little bit, but can you talk a little bit more about how you guys are addressing the needs of pharma and I guess medtech companies as well during specifically clinical trials?
Yeah, so distributed clinical trials are the way to go today. And by connecting the devices to the cloud, you basically remove the need for manual checkups with patients and for manual intervention, like somebody actually asking the question through a questionnaire and filling up the forms one by one. It saves a lot of time, a lot of money, because when you're connected to the cloud, you get all of the information directly from the device. And if you have the connected care system, then the system also automatically engages with the patients to receive the feedbacks, and it incorporates it into your data. And this really removes all the middlemen from the equation and makes it very easy to analyze data. It also improves the data accuracy, because you don't, for example, if you want to ask the question something, you ask him at the right moment and not a week later when he barely remembers. And when you get the information from the device, you get an accurate information. So all of this supports faster clinical trials and distributed clinical trials.
All right, very good. That's great. Maybe let's try to do another question or two. If anybody from the audience has any questions, please go ahead. Maybe I can ask one more here. So so you guys have a lot of experience in terms of managing various types of applications. Are there some conditions that are more challenging to manage remotely or virtually than others? Anything that you can say from your experience?
One of the most difficult things to do is to manage adherence of patients. And as I mentioned, adherence is one of the key contributors to eventually the treatment success. And we've developed several tools around adherence that basically continuously monitor and engage the patient in order to ensure that he adheres to the correct protocol around the medical device. And it's not only around alerting and alarming him, but there's a lot around education that needs to be done. And this is something that needs to be tailored per patient need. It's not something generic that you can do for everyone. And this is one of the things that is very challenging to do, and I hope that we're doing it well.
Well, that's great. So yeah, adherence certainly is key. And yeah, so Itai, thanks very much for a very nice talk. Really appreciate it. Encourage everybody to go and check out BioT's booth, Umbrella. Get in touch with Itai and his colleagues. They have a lot of experience rolling out these solutions. They have this no-code platform, very easy to use. So check it out. And again, encourage everybody to check out the BioT's booth. Itai, thanks so much again for a very nice talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.